your home with Buildaid on Mix 93.8. Proudly brought to you by AfriSam. AfriSam, creating concrete possibilities.
Buildaid on Mix 93.8 FM. Good evening. We're going to be chatting about air conditioning this evening. What a topical thing to chat about. Although this evening is quite cold. We've got all the windows closed. And my guest is Kobus Gebhardt from Execair. With us also, Simon on the desk, and Kay looking after all of us.
Yeah, we're also going to chill you down a little bit tonight. We're going to get slightly poetic. We've got some Dylan coming up, Hendrix and Rodriguez. We also are thinking of a song that's got something to do with heat because, gosh, have we all been suffering in this heat. So if you can think of the song that we're talking about. Now here's a clue. Bish played the band that sings this song a little while ago. In the meantime, send us any song that you have that's got to do with heat and burning and fire and even smoke. There's a little clue. Send us an SMS on 41348.
My name's Graham Alexander. I'm going to be chatting to Kobus Gebhardt. We're talking about air conditioning. Kobus, thanks so much for coming to chat to us.
Thank you to be with you guys.
Something about air conditioner, I think people relate it to either offices and not residential or factories where you work every day. But it's easily affordable to air condition one's home, and that's what we're going to chat about this evening. But to get started, just so that we know more or less what we're talking about here, an aircon to me is this big thing like a Chrysler grill under the ceiling, and then a thing that looks like an aircon unit outside. That's my sort of picture of an aircon. But what are the different types that you can put into a residential structure?
Graham, yes, that unit you're referring to is called a mid-wall split unit. It's not the most beautiful thing that you can have in your house or something. You also get cassette units that's installed in the middle of your ceiling, that's very high, hidden away, and also ducted hideaways. Both these other units, cassette units as well as ducted hideaway units, are also split units, where your condenser is situated outside and your evaporator is situated inside.
Okay. I'm going to get to that condenser and evaporator just now. So everyone out there going, whoa. We'll get to it. Just so that I understand this clearly, Kobus. The cassette unit is in the ceiling.
Correct.
And the condenser, that other thing, is outside somewhere.
Yes.
Okay. And with a split wall, the unit is on the wall up near the ceiling somewhere.
Correct. A lot of this people install the units on either of the walls. That can sometimes obstruct your other features in your house, like curtains, blinds, all that kind of stuff, even picture frames. And that's why they designed the cassette units, that you can install it in the ceiling.
Okay. And the ducted unit is the prettiest of the lot, where you really don't even know there's air conditioning in the one.
Inside the house, yes. The only thing you see is the return air grill, and then you see the diffusers that's going to each room. This unit can also be used for multiple rooms and areas in the house.
If I want to go out and buy a light lamp, I would probably measure it in watts or milliliters and so on. What is air conditioning measured in, so that one can understand what you're buying or what you need?
We use a terminology called BTUs, which means British Thermal Units. If you buy air conditioning, you also note there's what's written on the unit. And when we measure, as professional companies, we measure in BTUs,
Okay.
the thermal load of the building.
We don't really need to know all the technical stuff, but I do know that it's a 12,000 BTU is half the performance of a 24,000. Am I on the right picture?
Yeah, you've got it right there.
Okay, good. We're going to come back in a mo and just chat a bit more about comfortable living and how we fit these systems in. We established before the show, so that we didn't have to hassle with a calculator, that a bedroom of about 5.5 by 5 would be between 12 and 18,000 BTU. That was correct.
Correct, yeah.
But you
approximately 15,000
15.
BTUs, but because you don't get a 15, we said 12 to 18,000.
So I guess there are other considerations that have to come into play here now, whether it's a cassette or a split unit or whatever. Let's not talk about ducted at this stage. Something like noise. How noisy is an 18,000 BTU?
The noise levels that comes out standard, what's been specified, is between 40 and 45 decibels. That's without including the ambient noise levels that's around the room, where 12,000 is about 30 to 35 decibels.
Okay. Just, are you able to put that as a comparison? Because that sort of means nothing to me. Is that the sound of a dog barking or someone sneezing? Or?
If you look at this room at the moment, which is the stereo, it's approximately 50 decibels.
Okay.
We can measure it very easily.
Okay. So that's loud.
That's fairly loud.
Yeah. Although you can
If you're a
use-
soft sleeper, you're not going to sleep.
Okay. Would it make sense in some instances then to use two smaller units?
Then you're going to push up your electrical consumption.
Okay. So you've got some calculating to do.
Yeah, you've got quite a lot of calculating to do.
The other thing I guess you guys need to do, particularly when you're in an alteration, an existing home, is aesthetically you've got to get that condenser somewhere that's sort of not in straight line of sight. Sometimes that might not be possible though, but obviously you give it some thought. How far can it be from the other unit? How far apart can they be?
We use a rule of, say, do not exceed 15 meters, because your pipe sizes will have to change. There's a lot of performance that you lose the further your condenser is away from your indoor unit, from your evaporator.
And that's, so if you use the 15, it's not going to be as efficient as it.
No, the 15 will still be efficient within,
Okay.
within the specifications of the unit. But it's recommended not to exceed the 15 meter.
And if we consider that our model here is a 5-meter bedroom, that's 3 times the width or the length of that bedroom. So we've got something to play with.
Yes, you do.
Back to the alteration or existing home scenario. And let's say we've decided on a split unit. How do you go about putting this installation into place?
First, you have to establish where you want to install the indoor unit, the evaporator. Then you have to locate where you want to install the outdoor unit. And is it possible to use the shortest or best route? You might sometimes have to chase into the walls and have to plaster up again. You might have to drill through the walls with core drilling or through a slab. So you have to take a lot of things in consideration.
Is it something, Kobus, that I could go to work in the morning and come back in the afternoon and it's done?
Yes, if it's a small and simple installation.
A bedroom.
Yeah, a bedroom, standard bedroom, back to back, shouldn't take more than 3 hours.
Okay, great. So that's good news. This is Buildaid on Mix 93.8. I'm chatting to Kobus Gebhardt. My name is Graham Alexander. We're talking about air conditioning. Just a quick recap, Kobus. We had the cassette unit, it's in the ceiling. And remember, we're talking about homes here. It's not our office. So it would be a cutout in the ceiling because it's unlikely you're going to have those office ceilings in your home.
Yes, it'll be a cutout.
Yeah.
Normally we have got a plastered ceiling or conventional ceiling, if I can call it like that.
Then we've got the split unit, which is the unit up on the top of the wall and the condensers outside, and then the ducted one. But with the ducted unit being the nicest of the lot, I'm sure you would need a void in the ceiling because you've got to put this somewhere.
Yes, you will need at least 500 millimeters for the unit to fit in, but obviously also workspace for the guys that install the unit, or you have to install the unit before you install the ceilings. And with your diffusers, your flash ducting, your pipe work and all that kind of stuff.
So I had somebody recently say, if you put a void into the ceiling, it costs more because your building's taller. Sure, it's a fact. But if you have a void in your home, you can do all the most amazing things, like put your bathroom in the middle of nowhere, because you don't have to worry about getting the pipes out. You go through the floor and out through the ceiling. But this is not a plumbing show. We're talking about air conditioning.
You're still going to need pipes though for the drains.
When we get to energy efficiency, there was a new, or reasonably new rule that came out called SANS 10400XA in terms of energy efficiency. And it dealt with us using one passive design, make sure that the home faces the right direction, doesn't attract heat and so on. But without getting too technical, a whole lot of regulations were set up with that purpose. Now, if I'm not achieving whatever it is, 1.1, and I come to Execair and I say, I need an air conditioner, is there a point where the two balance out? Because obviously air conditioning uses electricity.
Yes, there's been a lot of new designs on different makes of air conditioners, which we call the inverter range. Now the inverters, the compressor doesn't start up immediately like in the older machines and stuff. So you don't have that high load running full capacity all the time. It starts softly, it runs, and as it runs, you get your cooling going.
Okay. We talk about the cassette and the split and the ducted. Is it something you can also mix and match? Maybe you only want to have a void on the ground floor and I could use a cassette on the top level. as an example?
Yes, you can do that. You can have a hideaway on the first floor or the cassette on the first floor at your mid-wall split on the ground floor where you normally don't have ceiling voids unless it's been provided. Or you can have either or. It doesn't matter what type of unit you use in the place.
Kobus, thank you so much for coming to chat to us.
Great pleasure.
And I
Thank you
look
for
forward
having
to
us.
doing it again sometime in the future. Okay, put us out of our misery.
Well, I've been feeling really groovy all night because I'm getting lots and lots of men asking me to baby light my fire, and that's the song we're playing out with, and that's Jim Morrison and the Doors. So thanks to everyone who got it right, and please drive safely.
Thanks for listening. Up next is Adam Ford Cortina and Motoring in the Mix. We'll catch you next Wednesday between 6 and 7. Ciao.
Your home with Buildaid on Mix brings you all sorts of interesting info about building. Graham Alexander chats to different guests every Wednesday evening between 6 and 7. Proudly brought to you by AfriSam. AfriSam, creating concrete possibilities.